A little bit late. So I literally just walked in the door about 2 minutes ago. So here we are. Right. So you've seen the thumbnail. I just wanted to share a little bit of information that I got this morning. So many of you will know that my mortgage is one of the 2 million that will end, or at least come out of its fixed rate next year, which means that we've had conversations about interest rates on mortgages and what's going to happen to interest rates moving forward if the Bank of England continues to push up the base rate. That means mortgage rates are going to increase. And ever since, obviously, the Liz Truss mini budget, we've seen that we've had increases in the mortgage rate because there was so much uncertainty around. So currently at the moment, I'm in a position where I'm looking to potentially remortgage early. So pay my early repayment charge and actually pay that charge and get into a new fixed rate. Now, I had a conversation with my mortgage lender on Tuesday, and they were offering at the time 5.59 as a mortgage offer for me to pay my early repayment charge and get fixed for another 5 years. I spoke with them this morning, and the rates are down. The new offer for me is 4.44%. So that's just over a 1% drop in mortgage rates. Now, I don't know why this has happened, completely honest. I've been looking around today to try and get some context as to why we're now seeing the rates drop, or at least why I'm seeing the rate being offered to me being dropped quite significantly, because that's made a huge difference to what my payments are going to go up to versus what they were before at 5.59%. And by the way, I'm fixed at 1.49 right now. So it's still quite a big jump in terms of where I'm going to go from in terms of the rate. But I'm thankful that I won't be going up to like 5.59% that they were talking to me about on Tuesday. It looks like it's probably going to be around about the 4.5% roughly. So I just wanted to share this because if you are remortgaging right now, I had an email earlier this as well from the mortgage broker who's going to be dealing with me to say, look, rates are changing rapidly. So if you are remortgaging right now, it might be worthwhile speaking to your lender to see if they have seen themselves a change in the rates today. Literally, those rates came down this morning. Now, in doing a little bit of research as to why this is kind of happening, I can only take maybe a little bit of context from what we're hearing out of the States. So, Jerome Powell at the Fed is basically saying that it looks as though the Fed in America are going to start to ease off on their monetary policy when it comes to their interest rate hikes in the US. Now, they're in a slightly different situation to us because they've been able to successfully bring down their inflation number from about 9.9% to about just over 7%. So they've been doing really, really well, which would make sense if they decided to kind of maybe ease off the interest rate hikes slightly. I mean, their last interest rate hikes were 0.75%. They've had three of those. We've only had one here in the UK. So oftentimes when the Americans do things, we tend to follow suit in some way, shape, or form. So this is really speculation. Are we going to see the same from the Bank of England? Now, if I'm honest, my gut feeling is that no. That's my gut feeling, especially when you consider the things that we've heard from the budget. Jeremy Hunt saying that he's going to give his full blessing for the Bank of England to do what is necessary to bring down inflation. And also the language from the Bank of England themselves, Andrew Bailey specifically talking about he doesn't feel as though they've done enough in order to combat inflation effectively, and they need to do more. So that's the kind of stuff that we're hearing. But on the flip side, we heard this maybe about 2 months ago now. So maybe something has changed. If something has changed, I haven't seen anything or heard anything on the grapevine. But what I do know is, as of right now, the mortgage rates have fallen today by about 1.1% in terms of what was being offered to me on Tuesday versus what was on the market this morning. So if you are remortgaging, speak to your lender. If you're in a position where you are one of the 2 million people who are going to have their mortgages come off their fixed rate in the next 12 months, we know from the budget, and I did a video on this, the bailout, the interventions are going to kick in from spring 2023. That's when those fixed rates are going to start coming off the market. So if you are one of them, and I mean, if you're, I mean, spring is what? Is it March, April, roughly? So technically speaking, you can exit your mortgage or at least start shopping around now without having to worry about the early repayment charge doing too much damage because you're within that 6 month window. So if your mortgage is going to be coming off the fixed rate this spring, like February, March, April, you should be shopping around now trying to lock something in. I don't know how long this is going to last for. I was actually quite surprised. Um, After speaking to them on Tuesday, what I basically did is I did a little recce across the market. I spoke to a couple of people that I know, and they were saying that this is the rate that are now available, but they came in lower than the rates that I saw this morning when I was doing a bit of a recce on the market. So, look, it's worthwhile speaking to your lender. It's worthwhile speaking to any mortgage professionals that you may know at this point in time, because if you are worried about, interest rates going higher and you're worried about your mortgage payments increasing by quite a bit, we're talking hundreds of pounds here. When you pop that in with energy prices, fuel prices, food prices, it's pretty tight for a lot of people. So now might be an opportune time to go and have a little hunt for that and see whether you can lock yourself into a deal. If you do decide to pay the early repayment charge, just make sure that you understand the numbers. It's a difficult one sometimes because because we don't know what's coming down the track. It's very, very easy to get into this debate with yourself around, well, should I just wait? Should I not? What I say to people is, we don't know for sure. So do what you feel is right in the moment. That's the most important thing. Do what you feel is right at the time that you're making the decision. There's no point in taking the decision now. There may be in year or 2 years' time, rates start to come down, or God forbid, by October next year, rates haven't gone up, they've fallen. And if I've locked into a higher rate today or this week or next week, it will be now. I'm not going to look at that and think I made the wrong decision because it's the best information I had at the time. And I think that's really, really important when you're making financial decisions, because oftentimes as human beings, it's easy for us to look back in hindsight and think, oh, I should have done this. But we've got to make a decision that we think is best for us at the time. So there we are. Just a little bit of information, nothing specific, nothing kind of more educational. It's very much news. I had that conversation this morning and I thought I'd share it here online. As always, if you do know anyone who may benefit from this, please feel free to share. If you've got benefit from this as well, please smash that like button. For first-time buyers, I don't know what this means for first-time buyers because my loan to value is pretty decent. So I haven't got a big mortgage comparison to the value of the house. At higher loan to values, you start to pay higher rates, which is why I've spoken about this in the context of a remortgage specifically. I don't know what the rates are currently for first-time buyers. I don't think those have changed. But for me, in my circumstance, with my loan to value on the property, they have definitely dropped this morning. Anyway, there you go. Appreciate you guys.